Good afternoon. We're in Seagrove, North Carolina, pottery capital of the world. Today we're going to be hanging out here, checking out some pottery, and actually be taking a class today making a ugly face mug. So why don't you join us? So if it's your first time visiting Seagrove, you probably want to check out the museum over here. It's all examples of all the different potters and their pots. And it's only $2.50 to come in and see all this, so definitely worth checking out. See, they got the names of the different potters. Like you got, Ben Owen the third somewhere. Here's Eck. We're going to be seeing him a little later today.
Yeah, I'm a second generation. I've been making pots full-time for 31 years. My mom and dad got into it in 79. Well, mom got into it in 79 to make miniatures for her doll houses, and she plopped me on her lap. I was 4 years old and just had me make little spoon rests and ashtrays with a little guidance from her hands. And then dad got into it when they opened up their shop in 83. And so my brothers and I just got handed all the clay we could stand, and we'd sculpt little monsters and things and just kind of kept our hands in the clay. It wasn't until 93 that I started turning full-time. And Dad put me on the wheel and started teaching me. I basically flopped pots for about 3 months solid while learning how to do it. And eventually got to where I could turn. This was one of the many techniques that Dad showed me. It's a technique called agate wear. So you take different colors of clay and you spiral them on the wheel at the same time. And in that process, you're getting a beautiful grain that's created. When you carve into the walls, you get to unveil this personality, a very unique personality that's in every single piece of pottery. So just get that guy off here, just clean that up a little bit. So this just started out as a little quad of 4 colors. There's a light red, a dark brown, and a white. So yes, the red clay, every year for my shop's anniversary, I do an alternate color scheme. I always do this blue and brown and white color scheme. But celebrating 13 years, we're going to do a different color. Did green last year, doing red this year. So it's got a few different combinations: red, white, brown, red, white, and blue, just red and white. And start by centering this clay. And in doing so, we're establishing a spiral, but also establishing continuity throughout the piece and making it work and move as one. Just a little extra coating. You see that spiraling peeking through there? Let's just scrape that off. Beautiful spiral. Put that spiraling right down to the core, creating a grain. And bring it back down again. So we see that spiral tightening up. Let's flatten him out. Not only driving more stratification throughout the walls of the piece, but allowing that spiral to sit there on the top and become part of the vessel. Bring this wall back up, and essentially inverting that cone. We'll just go ahead and make a nice bowl out of that. There's so many different modes of being able to make pottery. The natural ingredients, of course, are the original legacy of Seagrove. I'd say less than half of the potters now use the local clay because that's an entirely separate job. to mix and sort of mine the clay and everything. I mean, granted, you can just go out and dig it out of the ground and then just do a little bit of processing, and I've done quite a bit of it. I just ran it through a window screen. And we can continue that image all the way around. Nice. Hello, Maybell.
It's now off to Johnston and Gentis, a potter and sculptor duo, where we're going to talk to them and find out a little more about what they do.
We moved here in 1997, and before that I worked for a lot of the different generational families, the Teagues, the Owens, Kegels, and I just worked as an itinerant turner, so they paid me by the pound, and that's how I paid my way through art school. And then I would just come here for the summer and work, and then go back to school in the fall. So when I was done with art school in New York, we both went to Alfred University in upstate New York. They've had a ceramics program for over 100 years. And so since I had connections here and I knew everyone here, it was kind of a natural move. And Carol, she lived in New York, DC. She was not a rural, she's no country girl. So, but anyway, she cried when I first brought her here, but now she doesn't cry. I mean, she's like, I could never imagine living in New York or DC now, right? So I don't know, it's become home, and we definitely have distinctively different work. Carol's, she's a sculptor. She works in the realm of surreal and lots of color. And I work more with natural materials, maybe more functional. And I dig my own clay. We fire with wood, salt glaze. But I like to experiment and try different things. I don't do the same thing all the time.
He actually finishes it, and then I take it into my space and put. I work with decals, so I reconfigure these decals and put it on, and then refire it onto what is wood fire or atmospheric fired surfaces, so that there's something different going on.
So this is all the different kinds of clays that we dig this one from our land, but then we also get clay from the region, and we work with the brick industry. We work with other potter friends who are also curious about all this stuff. So we share. Don't ask another potter for their best clays, but we will share like our clays, how we use them, the testing that we've done. We'll share that information with each other because it's not the signature thing. If you spent 500 hours developing a glaze, you're not just giving it to somebody unless they gave you one that they spent equal investment in or something. So in a collective sense in this community, we do share in a lot of ways, and we talk shop about sales, how we're going to build a kiln, how we're going to build a chimney, how you're processing your clay, and we share customers too. So, well, we built this about maybe 10 years ago, and we used to be downtown Seagrove for like 18 years. I had my wood kiln there, and it was right adjacent to the North Carolina Pottery Center. So then, but we bought this property about maybe 3 years after we were in business. The bank would give us a loan, and we continued to work there. And that little house was just a little Cape Cod house, and I told Carol, I said, if we build a studio, I'm going to build some tall ceilings, big windows. So I did a lot of research before I built this thing, and just made little maquettes, and I don't know. But we did Carol's Greek, so we did the entrance in this Greek revival style. And there's an architect, Asher Benjamin. He was one of the original Greek revivalists. So after the Revolutionary War, everything that was British was like out with that. Greece represented the new democracy. So that was like a burgeoning style in the early 1800s. And so I used his book as a guide, really, to build this building. And the golden mean, Fibonacci, all these like proportional kinds of concepts and ideas.
All right, so we are here at Crystal King Pottery. We are going to be taking her class and going to go in there and make some ugly face mugs. We've never done this before, so our ugly face mugs might be like horrendous mug faces. Something so disgusting that we won't even display it. We'll see. Maybe we'll be experts.
And we were like, the summers are a little bit slower. It would be great. We have a big event in the spring, big event in the fall.
Did you want us to put our hands in the
Yeah, get them kind of clean, because that clay settles in a normal height. And you have certain, requirements. And I'm gonna let you, when you go, this is on the Facebook and Instagram tonight. Okay. So that you can get, and I kind of do them as there'll be 3 for each class. Okay. So you go for let it absorb a second. Finger mark.
Not only did I make an ugly mug, but I also made this guy right here.